Hello and welcome to episode 32 of All the Stitches, otherwise known as Flosstube number 2. My name is Colleen and I'm coming to you from the Lakes region of New Hampshire in the United States. I am back with another Flosstube episode, but before I show you anything, I just want to thank you all so very much. After my first Flosstube, I got so many new subscribers, I got so many views, it just kind of blew my mind. And all your lovely comments were just really wonderful. And so therefore, I had a lot of pressure to finish, do some stitching finishes and get going with Flosstube number 2. Some of you may know that this is generally a channel about my quilting, knitting, cross stitch, whatever other needlework and crafty things I may be up to. But I've created a little sub-channel here and always will title it with the word Flosstube so you'll know. So before I ramble on a little too much, I'm going to get right to my finishes, my works in progress, and I guess that's it. Oh, I know. One other thing, if I don't go too long, I'm going to show you what I received in a 12 Days of Christmas stitchy box that I really enjoyed this year. So first of all, a finish. This is a finish that I showed you last time in Flosstube 1, and I'm going to struggle with the light here a little bit, but this is all framed. So I'm calling this not an FFO, but an FFFO, so fully finished and framed. This is a Prairie Year. Let's see if I can, there we go, a little better. This is a Prairie Year from the Prairie Schooler. I did frame it myself. I used all the called for colors, and this is the fabric that I just have a hard time finding exactly what it is, but it is an Aida. It's one of those soft flexible Aidas, and I'm not quite sure. I think it's 14 count, but it is a dense 14 count, so I thought it was perfect for this. The frame, I did the frame myself. I purchased a lot of my frames from customframesolutions.com. I think they have a great website where you can really pick out colors and the type of frame you want. They cut the glass. It is a museum glass. They cut acid-free backing board for you. And I think, it's a little less expensive than going to a shop and having them frame it. I laced this piece myself, which is a pain in the neck. I think it took me an entire afternoon to lace it, but I am very happy with this piece and needs some hanging. Needs a hanger on the back, but it should be ready to go on the wall. My next piece I did in early December, and because I saw it and I couldn't resist it. It is Feliz Naughty Dog. It's a pattern or a chart from Dirty Annie's. I did it on 14 count Aida, and I think I just made up my own colors. And the chart shows a yellow dog, but because I have a little black lab, or big black lab, who is also a naughty dog, I had to do it in black, but I thought it was so cute. I did, excuse me, I used a backing board purchased from Starry Night Studio Company on Etsy. They're pretty handy. I just wanted a quick finish and it worked out great. Comes with this little stand on it. It is wood. And it comes all painted, and it comes with a backing board of fabric, which I probably should have gotten a bigger board so that the fabric would show, but it's a finish. My next finish, not in any particular order, is one. I had these 3 Prairie Schooler Santas all stitched for quite some time, and I was trying to decide what I would do with them. I ended up doing something I've done before. And that is, I turned them into a little quilted wall banner. So on the first one I did it was my crafty Santa. So it was the knitting Santa, the sewing Santa, and the quilting Santa. This one I did, I'm calling this my All Creatures Great and Small Santa because, oh, I didn't write down the years, but you are familiar with them, no doubt. I believe that was 2021 Santa. This is an older one. Don't remember exactly, but I love that deer. And this is the sheep. Had to do the sheep. And I just turned it into a little quilt with sashing and border. Machine quilted it. There's the back, some Santa fabric on the back. And I'm ready to go next year. Oh, I should mention, on the Prairie Schooler Santas, I've used for a long time now, I've always made them with mainly the called for colors. Occasionally, I think that middle one was probably my own red. And I use a 14 count Aida in Oatmeal, just to make it a simple little stitch. My next finish took me by surprise, but I had a fit of the squirrels because I told you on Flosstube 1 that my December stitch was going to be two things. One, a Prairie Schooler, the one, an older one that has a cross stitch frame on it. The second thing was going to be something I'll show you in a moment. And what did I do? But the end of November, I saw a pattern that I fell in love with, got to bring it over with me. But I decided I had to stop what I was doing, and I ordered the fabric, I ordered the thread, and I just got going, I think late in the first week of December. And I could not put this thing down until New Year's Eve. I finished it New Year's Eve. So you can see how exciting my New Year's Eve was, which, you know, it was actually great to be able to stitch on New Year's Eve. So let me show you the finished piece, which I just put together today. This is Christmas Rules by, oh gosh, who? Christmas Rules by Primrose Cottage Stitches. It is all done. It's fully finished. And I can tell you this stitch for the month of December was so joyful. I couldn't stop. And every day, no matter what I was doing, I look forward to what I would be doing next. I love it. I used, I believe the called for everything, which was 14 count Aida in the color Pewter. The backing board comes from 141 Design Company shop on Etsy. It came as a block of wood. I didn't finish the back because I'm concerned about this kind of finish. It's a chalk paint finish, sort of putting itself on the wall. All my walls are very light, and I'm just concerned about a little color sort of seeping onto the wall. So I left it blank, but I painted it red with chalk paint. Then I distressed the edges a little bit, and then I put a chalk paint wax on it. This is, I did a backing mat with fabric, and then doubled my mat and folded the piece over it. I use these sort of, they're not, well, I guess they're mini pom-poms, but they're a little bigger than usual, which I really liked because it was a big piece and I think they look like snowballs. But like I said, this was just absolutely so much fun and so joyful to make. And I just recommend it to anyone who'd like to stitch a nice Christmassy happy piece. Okay, one more finish. I just finished yesterday, and this was an old work in progress, and I couldn't decide what to do with it until finally yesterday. And it's Welcome Summer from Primrose Cottage Stitches. And I think they're the called for colors. I used a 16 count Aida. It's just a white color. And the fabric, I have no idea. This fabric I've had in my stash for quite a while. You can see I shouldn't call it a fully finished because I have to sew the back up. But it's all done. I didn't know if I wanted to add a little more stuffing to it. But that's been hanging on a while. And so I'm glad to get that one done. Okay, I'm already moving on to my works in progress. So I mentioned the Christmas project I was going to start in the 1st of December, but the squirrels happened, and that was the Search the Sky from Waxing Moon Designs. I never did pick it up in December because of that Christmas Rules project, but I did pick it up on, let's see, New Year's Day. I started it, and it became my stitch for the first week in January. That was my decision. First week in January, and then on the 25th of every month, I'm going to pick it up and work on it some more. This was my progress for that period of time. Not a lot, but, you know, it's a start. I had a heck of a time with this for some reason. A year ago, I was going to start it. I purchased the called for, I think, 32 count Cashel in blue. I could not see it. I could not make out one hole from the next hole. I had a terrible time with it. Maybe today it would be, maybe it'd be a little easier today, but it was not happening for me. So then I found a 16 count Aida. It's one of those flexible Aidas. And I sat down to do that. And I could not see. There's something about this cloth. All right, so you experience Flosstubers, you tell me. When they dye this fabric, this Aida, it must close up the holes. That's all I can think of. I could not see the 16 count for the life of me. And I usually have no problem with that. So I got disgusted and I ordered a 14 count. Well, guess what? I really love the fabric, but it is still hard to see. It's hard to see. Those holes have closed up. And I stretch it tight on a frame or in a hoop. And I actually have to use a magnifying glass for a 14 count cloth. So that's really strange. But that's the only explanation for me. Maybe because it's dark, maybe because it is it's tightly woven at this point. But I do like it a lot. I'm going to stick with it. It's my 25th of the month stitch. The next one I was probably not going to start for a little while. I decided the squirrels came to visit once again, and I decided I was going to jump to this one, and that is the Redbird Sampler. It's just a small little piece. This is from Heart in Hand, and here is my start. I decided it would be my Sunday stitch, so every Sunday I pull this out. And it's just been 2 Sundays that I've worked on it. And it's such an easy stitch, and that's what I wanted it to be. I'm doing it on a 16 count fiddler's cloth. And the thread is Weeks Dye Work Lancaster Red. Love it. Very satisfying one color stitch. My main project that I just cannot get enough of, the Modern Folk Embroidery, I Am No Bird. I worked on this in November for Black Sampler November. I put it aside for December, put it aside for the first week of January, and then could not bear to be apart from it any longer. So it's become my main stitch. And I showed it to you last time, but I'm going to show it to you again because I've made some progress. So at least I have all the words done. I'm working on putting the border in. I think that will be important because of the rest of it, because if you look at this Gigantosaurus house, these humongous people, I think I really need to be spot on when I start all that. So I already know that my border has matched up, and because it matches up on this side, I'm pretty sure it's going to match up on this side, because this so far is all done correctly. My biggest concern with this is when I was doing the birds and the two motifs, flowers, whatever they're supposed to be. I was so afraid that once I took it out of the Q-snap, those birds were not going to be equal distance from each other or equal distance from the letters. I counted 1,000,000 times, and I finally, once I took it out and took a look, I said, oh, phew, it is the way it should be. So that's going to be my goal now the rest of this month, get that border done, start in on the Gigantosaurus house, and go from there. But I love the stitch. Like I said, it's from Modern Folk Embroidery. The cloth is 25 count Laguna, and the color is Heritage. The thread is Weeks Dye Works Mascara. Alrighty, that was quicker than I thought, so I'm going to go through my 12 Days of Christmas stitchy box that I got from Colorado Cross Stitcher. I've never done it in a stitchy box. I do advents with friends. I've done yarn mini advents with knitters, but I've never done a stitchy box, so I didn't really know what to expect. So I went to one of the best. I got it from Colorado Cross Stitcher. And Sherry does a wonderful, wonderful job with some really curating some really nice things. So I've collected them in my little shaker sewing box, and I'll show you the first thing I have attached here. This little set of Christmas pins. So cute. Let me see. I'm going to just show you what I have. The first thing is a lot of little charts. These are hers, her designs. I love this one. I think this is my favorite. And I don't know if these are available in her store or if it was only for this box. That's cute too. I love them all, really. Love these blocky flowers. And this, love it. Next, or I don't know what order this was, but pull out these threads here. All these lovely classic colorworks threads that you can probably use with all of the, there's 1 Weeks Dye Works and 3 classic colorworks. Oops, I'm not good at this. I'll get better at this. I have to practice more. So there's 4 of them. Yep, 4 of them. Really pretty. Want to know the colors? Brown Sugar, English Ivy, Merlot, and Weeping Willow. Then we have, oh, another sweet little chart. In the meadow we can build a snowman. This is just a wee little card with the chart inside. And little buttons. And the buttons are in here somewhere. Here they are. I love these. How cute. Next we have a set of pins. It's either, I guess, for a pin cushion or maybe counting pins. They're too fancy. They're too fancy for counting pins. Really pretty. There's also this cute little wooden, it's a wooden, looks like a hand-cut little block to hold needles. It has a little wool here holding the needles. That's very cute too. This, which is, it says the Star D. Taylor. See this? And I guess what it is for threading. If you have a little piece of floss and you have to thread it under your stitches, that's what you use. Well, this is news to me. You were probably out there saying, yeah, we know what that is, but I don't know. I didn't know what that was. That's a great little gift. What else? Oh, a floss holder. Wood. It looks like it's wood burn Santa with a little ruler on the bottom and her name. Have yourself a merry little Christmas tag. Either, I suppose, a keychain, or I would probably hang that on a project bag. And last but not least, a lovely pair of scissors. Try to focus this. This is Joji scissors. So Joji Locatelli is a knit designer, and these are her special little scissors. So it was really well worth it. You know, if anybody thinks, oh, maybe maybe it might not be worth it. They're not cheap, but it's also a very, Sherry at Colorado Cross Stitcher is very, very nice taste, and did a wonderful job curating this box. So I think that's it for today. That's all I have in my cross stitch world. I'm probably going to be making a video in the next couple of weeks that is my regular all the stitches video, and because I have some knitting, and if I get it done, I have a small quilt to show. But for Flosstube, that's it. And for my next Flosstube, I'm considering, because even though many of you have watched this channel, you have not been Flosstube viewers. So my new Flosstube viewers, I was considering doing sort of a retrospective and showing you some of my older cross stitch, which is not a lot. It really is not a lot. And until recently, I haven't really picked it up in any serious way. But I thought I would drag all that stuff out and go over that with you on my next Flosstube 3. In the meantime, like I said, there'll probably be a regular episode of all the stitches coming soon as I can upload on my horrendous internet service. But until next time, I hope all of your stitches bring joy. Bye-bye.